Hello, good morning. Holly Shields here from Kalkine Studios, live in Sydney, and you're watching the Market Open Report on the early trades. The Australian share market has edged 0.1% higher in the opening minutes of the trades as gains posted by consumer staples and financial stocks offset weakness from the tech sector. Altium leads the market, rising 4.7%, and SkyCity Entertainment jumped 3.6%, while Star Entertainment rose 1.6% as well. Meanwhile, Crown Resorts dropped 0.2% in the opening minutes and hasn't traded following the bid it received from Blackstone. The major banks rebounded, with CommBank up 1%, while NAB jumped 0.7% and ANZ added 0.3%, with Westpac climbing 0.7%. Treasury Wine rose 2.4% after announcing its purchase of Frank Family Vineyards on Thursday. Meanwhile, Janus Henderson advanced 2.7% on the board, and WiseTech Global was the biggest laggard, tumbling a whopping 2.8% after it affirmed its guidance. The ASX 200 steadied yesterday with an uptick of 9 points. Strength in the banks has helped the market ride out a collapse of iron ore over the last few months. This week's poorly received update from CommBank suggests that the other pillar of the market is also wobbling. Mining behemoths BHP and Rio Tinto closed near multi-month lows here yesterday and weakened in the overnight trades. While BHP's US-listed stock eased a mere 0.01%, the UK-listed stock gave up 1.14%. Rio Tinto shed 1.25% in the US and 1.74% in the UK. And a huge week of AGMs wraps up today with meetings for shareholders in WiseTech, NextdC, Nanosonics, PEXA, Accent and Monash IVF Group. As for the IPOs, the week ends with a triple header. Cadence Opportunities Fund listed at 10:30 a.m. and is actively traded, fund managed by Cadence Asset Management. Cooper Metals at 12 p.m. The Copper Gold Explorer with 3 projects in Queensland and Western Australia is listed as well. And Venture Services Group at 1 p.m. operates, maintains and manages infrastructure and is a part owned by CIMIC. The Aussie dollar recovered from 6 weeks low, rising 0.1% to 72.75 US cents. Now, before we move on to look at the trending updates from the ASX listed companies, it's time for a short break.
Hi there, James Preston for Kalkine TV. Are you into gaming and virtual reality? Does AI and the endless possibilities it entails capture your interest? Or are you constantly trawling through the web to try and discover the latest updates and innovations in the tech space? Well, let us do the work for you. From the latest product launches to shocking affairs on the World Wide Web, exclusive interviews and information about the top companies like Apple and Google to brand new tech startups vying for your attention. Kalkine's Tech Beat has the latest in what matters in the world of technology. Join me every single Thursday on the Tech Beat, exclusive to Kalkine TV.
Hello and welcome back. Holly this side. Let's move our attention now to the trending updates from ASX listed companies. Well, ANZ Bank will redeem 500 New Zealand dollars worth of convertible notes on the 31st of December. The subordinated perpetual notes were a part of ANZ Group's additional Tier 1 capital on a Level 2 basis. And Spark Infrastructure has flagged its intention to pay a special distribution from the Spark Infrastructure Trust of 12 cents a share. That is, if the proposed acquisition by Pika Bidco becomes effective. If approved and paid, the special distribution will reduce the cash consideration Spark shareholders will be entitled to from Pika under the scheme from 2.8875 to 2.76 per stapled security. And next up, shares of Crown have surged 15.2% to $11.40, after resuming trading following the announcement of their Blackstone revised offer. Crown Resorts has received an offer from shareholder Blackstone at $12.50 a share cash and is considering the revised bid. Blackstone already owns 9.99% of the casino operator. The Crown Board has not yet formed a view of the merits of the proposal, according to Blackstone, which has previously approached Crown with a $12.35 a share offer. Crown is assessing the proposal and has retained UBS and Gresham Partners. The value of the bid will be subtracted by the value of any future dividends declared. And moving on, footwear retailer and distributor Accent Group has said its sales and gross margins were significantly affected by mandated store closures for the 18 weeks ending October 31. It reported a bit of being around $40 million below management's expectations for the period. According to the company, the impact of store closures on the owned retail sales, including the digital for the first 18 weeks, was $86 million, approximately 26% below its original management plan. And the gross margin percentage was down 700 basis points. Meanwhile, nextdc's CEO Craig Scroggie said the company has made a strong start towards meeting its 2022 guidance at its AGM today. NextDC is expecting EBITDA to rise between 19 and 23% and capital expenditure in the range of $480 to $540 million. And WiseTech Global CEO Richard White appears to have confirmed the company's revenue and earnings guidance at its AGM today. WiseTech is counting on the revenue growth of 18 to 25% and EBITDA growth of 26 to 38% in the 21 to 22 period. WiseTech is on track to exceed its cost reduction run rate target of $20 million to $30 million, coming in at around $40 million in the financial year 2022. And lastly, Janus Henderson CEO Dick Whale is set to retire after 12 years on the job. The retirement will be effective from March 31, 2022. The company's board has initiated an internal and external search process with the assistance of an executive search firm and in order to identify a successor. Well, that is all for now on the early morning trades, but stay tuned to Kalkine TV because we have many more shows lined up for you today. Holly Shields signing off.